Nigerian military operations continue against insurgents in Northeast region. Good evening and welcome to my channel. If you are new, kindly subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. Today, we bring you updates on continuing military operations in Nigeria's Northeast, where security forces are maintaining pressure on terrorist groups operating in the region. The Joint Task Force overseeing Operation HADIN KAI has reported new developments in their ongoing campaign against insurgent elements. These operations, conducted under the broader framework known as Operation Sanity, represent part of sustained efforts to restore stability across the troubled region. Military sources have disclosed details of a nighttime operation conducted in the Muktum and Ngirbuwa villages area. Forces from Sector 2, working in coordination with civilian defense volunteers, carried out what has been described as a carefully planned engagement against suspected terrorist positions. According to official accounts, the operation resulted in armed confrontations with insurgent fighters. The military reports that several militants were killed during the encounter, though independent verification of casualty figures remains unavailable at this time. Following the engagement, troops conducted searches of the operational area. These searches yielded several items of interest, specifically 2 Kalashnikov rifles, 3 motorcycles, and multiple mobile devices. Military analysts suggest these phones may contain valuable intelligence regarding terrorist networks and communications. Perhaps more significantly, soldiers reportedly discovered evidence suggesting additional casualties beyond those confirmed during the firefight itself. Military personnel following the suspected retreat path of surviving militants found what they described as drag marks in the terrain, along with what appeared to be a hastily prepared burial site. These findings suggest that insurgents attempted to remove fallen comrades from the battlefield, a common practice among militant groups seeking to conceal their losses. In a geographically separate incident, troops assigned to Sector 1 encountered what appeared to be a terrorist logistics movement along the corridor connecting Bulayobe to Darel Jamel. According to military reports, insurgents were attempting to traverse the main supply route when they were spotted by security forces. Upon realizing they had been detected, the suspected terrorists reportedly scattered and fled without engaging the military directly. In their haste to escape, the fleeing individuals abandoned material that subsequently fell into military hands. Troops recovered 2 large sacks whose contents have been described as various logistical supplies. While the exact nature of these items has not been publicly detailed, military officials believe they were intended to support terrorist operations, potentially including food supplies, medical materials, or other sustenance items necessary for militant groups operating in remote areas. This incident highlights one of the challenges facing insurgent groups in the region, the difficulty of maintaining supply lines while under constant military surveillance and pressure. Military commanders have characterized the overall security environment across the Northeast theater as calm yet volatile, a seeming contradiction that reflects the complex reality on the ground. While major attacks have decreased and territorial control by terrorist groups has diminished, the threat has not been eliminated entirely. Insurgent elements continue to operate, primarily using guerrilla tactics, hit-and-run attacks, and attempts to resupply and regroup in remote locations. This necessitates continued vigilance by security forces. According to official statements, troop morale remains strong despite the challenging operational environment. Soldiers continue to patrol their designated areas of responsibility, conducting both proactive operations and responding to intelligence regarding terrorist movements. The military strategy appears focused on denying terrorists freedom of movement, disrupting their logistics networks, and maintaining a persistent presence across areas previously contested or controlled by Boko Haram and its offshoots, including the Islamic State West Africa Province faction. The operations described today are part of a conflict that has persisted for over a decade in Nigeria's Northeast. The insurgency, which began in 2009, has resulted in tens of thousands of deaths and displaced millions of civilians. Operation HADIN KAI, whose name means "partners together" in the Hausa language, represents the military's current operational framework for addressing the security crisis. It replaced the previous Operation Lafiya Dole in 2021, signaling a renewed commitment to ending the insurgency. The military faces a complex challenge. Terrorist groups have demonstrated resilience and adaptability, fracturing into different factions with sometimes competing agendas but maintaining their capacity to threaten civilian populations and contest government authority in remote areas. Beyond purely military objectives, lasting stability in the region requires addressing underlying factors including poverty, lack of economic opportunity, and grievances that terrorist groups have exploited for recruitment purposes. Military officials acknowledge that sustainable peace requires not just defeating terrorists militarily but also creating conditions where extremist ideologies cannot take root. Military authorities have reiterated their determination to continue operations until what they describe as lasting peace and economic recovery are achieved throughout the Northeast region. This represents an ambitious goal given the complexity and duration of the conflict. For civilians in affected areas, each reported military success offers hope for a return to normalcy, the ability to farm without fear, to send children to school safely, and to rebuild communities devastated by years of violence. However, the path forward remains challenging. The military's success in disrupting terrorist operations must be sustained over time, and complemented by effective governance, reconstruction efforts, and initiatives to address the humanitarian needs of millions affected by the conflict. We will continue to monitor developments in the region and bring you updates as this important story unfolds. Thank you for your attention to this critical issue affecting Nigeria's Northeast. Your engagement with these important matters helps keep public focus on the ongoing efforts to restore peace and security.